everyone, welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Superpowers. I'm Dawn, this is Karen, and we have a fun episode for you today. We're going to be discussing past life regressions again. And if you've been a viewer of ours for a while, you'll remember way back when we first started the channel, we did an episode on past life regression with hypnotist Angela Solorzano. And we'll include a link to that up above. And she really wasn't she was my first past life regression. But she wasn't Karen's.
Yeah.
So we're going to chat about Karen's past life regression because we actually got to go to one of the places that she had previously lived while we were in Arizona in November for Ironman Arizona.
And so why this is interesting, like I think if you watch the episode with Dawn's past life regression, there were a lot of things that came up that maybe explained issues in her current life. This is an interesting aspect when I think about the past life regression that I had, the first one that I had. The majority of the regression, I was in a life in Arizona as a young and indigenous woman. And that whole regression was very, very vivid. But the cool thing is, before I had this past life regression, I loved anything to do with Arizona, and I had never been to Arizona before. So when I was first married, I decorated the house in a southwestern motif with cactuses and all that sort of stuff. I really loved it, but I didn't know why.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. So fast forward about 20 years, I get this past life regression, and it's this big life in Arizona. Interestingly enough, Dawn was also in the regression as a medicine woman. She had blonde hair. Everyone was darker skin, dark hair, except for Dawn, who had blonde hair and blue eyes. So, and she was the medicine woman of the tribe. But anyway, so I was describing a lot of things in very vivid detail, especially where we were living. And, I described these adobe huts, which it wouldn't have ever occurred to me that indigenous people living in adobe huts. I don't know, maybe because, we're from Canada and that doesn't kind of happen here. But I described those, and then eventually I described how I kind of ran away from home. And then when I came back, all these adobe huts were deserted. The whole village was deserted, and then it was trying to figure out where they went. And eventually it did figure out where they went. And so I was describing the homes that were carved into these cliffs in Arizona, and just describing in a lot of detail and other things, and maybe what I learned about that life. So after the past life regression was over, the woman says to me, "That sounds like you described Montezuma's Castle." I Googled it afterwards, and I went, "Oh yeah, that looks like what I kind of saw in my mind." And I had never heard of it before. So anyway, so that was probably about 5 years ago.
Maybe more. Maybe longer. Yeah.
We went to Arizona. Dawn did her Ironman, put the link above. And then we went to Sedona, which we have a video. We'll put a link above. But we stopped in between at Montezuma's Castle. And I wanted to see if I felt like I was home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what you felt, right?
Yeah, just kind of tune in. A couple things kind of got in the way of me really tuning in. And one thing was because you couldn't actually go up and into the homes that were carved in the cliffs. You could only view it from a distance. Then the other thing that made it difficult to really tune into was the fact that it was a holiday weekend and it was so crowded, and there were also a lot of buses there with lots of people and that sort of thing. So it was very crowded, very noisy, and didn't really get a chance to tune in that well, but I do want to go back again and when it's quieter and see what I feel.
I would like to as well, because I did stop in on my way back down to the airport to fly home with our friend Lisa. Hi, Lisa. And due to COVID and me needing to get another PCR test to fly home, I was not able to spend as much time there and actually tune in either.
Oh, yeah, because you would have lived there too.
I would have lived there too.
Oh, it just dawned on me. It just dawned on me.
So I did. I stopped in to see, like, if I felt like this was home or if I had any flashbacks or anything. But same thing. It was busy. You don't get to go in. And I was really focused on worrying that, I might not make my flight.
Yeah.
So. Not really the best state to be tuning in. So I'd like to go back as well. And maybe we should go back together.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. But I think what is a really good thing for people to think about is if they have ties to another country or culture or things you like, types of food you like that you have no reason or no exposure to in your current life, maybe you like these things because of a past life. And maybe you don't like some things because of a past life.
I hadn't thought about that, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe, thinking about that, like I know...
Well, fear of water is one that popped into my head for people who, have drowned in a previous life.
I think one of the most well-known kind of past life regression people, Dr. Brian Weiss. Dr. Brian Weiss, what he does was, he was a therapist who would take people back in their current life. But one day, when he was working with someone with a lot of phobias, he said, I want you to go back when you first experienced that phobia. And she started talking about ancient Egypt or something like that. I can't remember the exact story. And then started to uncover this whole way of taking people to past lives through hypnosis, right? So if you've wondered why you have, and I mean a really big pull to something, Marilyn Penny, and we'll put a link to one of Marilyn's videos. Oh, hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Marilyn.
Her daughter loves everything about Korea.
That's a really good,
Yeah.
There's a really good chance that.
Yeah. So there's got to be a past life there, you would think. Because where would that come from?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes perfect sense to me.
So anyway, something to think about.
A lot of people are curious as to what happens during a past life regression.
Ah, yes.
And we didn't get to show that too much with my past life regression video because sometimes it can interfere, being filmed, it can interfere with your psyche and the energy in the room. So we didn't film my past life regression.
It's just like you're in a little bit of a meditation. You're really tuning into the visuals. And the therapist is asking you questions to guide you through and try to understand why you're seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah. And you felt like you were in control.
Yes.
Yeah.
I felt like it was interesting. I felt like I could get up and walk away at any point in time, but I also felt so heavy and almost like I couldn't move. Intellectually, I knew I could if I needed to, but I was just so deep into it. Yeah.
So it's worth a try. I would love to do another one. Yeah. And explore more because it really does bring a lot of insight into who you are now and maybe answer some questions that you are curious about as to why you decorate your house in Southwestern or why you have a fear of water or why you're drawn to the Irish culture or something like that so much. So worth a try.
Also, there's instances where children have described past lives and then they were able to figure out who it was.
Yes. I'll put some of the links below to some of those stories of children being able to find their old families.
Well, the other thing, Dawn, when Dawn was a
really
baby,
young.
she talked in a different language.
I did. Yeah, my parents told me that I would say that they're not my parents and that I spoke in they thought it was like an East Indian type of Asian accent. You know, I happen to love all that stuff, so could be, definitely could be. But yeah, that was kind of neat when my parents told me that. Yeah. That I actually even said that they weren't my parents. So wow.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we hope to do some more past life regression episodes in the future. I know you guys like it. We enjoy it too, right? So,
and it would be nice to be able to show you the actual process.
So
we're working on it.
We're working on that. We'll get a video up sometime soon.
So thank you again for spending your afternoon with us, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit that like button. While you're there, hit the subscribe button.
Yep. And the notification bell so that you don't miss another episode.
Yeah, so we'll see you again next week. And in the meantime, stay safe and stay happy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.